April 1743, when his father died at the age of 49. The 11-year-old George's share of his father's inheritance was very far, but his mother Mary continued to run the estate and would continue to do so as George reached adulthood. Mary's strict upbringing of her 5 surviving children meant that the relationship between mother and son was cool and distant, with George addressing her in formal terms in his letters as "honoured madam." He looked forward to his trips to visit Lawrence at Mount Vernon as an escape from his overbearing mother. Details of George Washington's early education are sketchy, and any instruction he received was likely rather basic. The available evidence suggests that he had lessons in basic mathematics and picked up knowledge of business and economics of his own accord. As a teenager, he would read widely in history and philosophy, as well as the popular fiction of the time. He also enjoyed physical activity and outdoor pursuits, swimming in the Rappahannock, and proved to be an excellent horseback rider, an attribute that would serve him well in his military career. Later in life, Washington regretted not having the opportunity to study French, Latin, and Greek, signs of social and intellectual distinction of the day. Among his better educated friends and colleagues such as John Adams, Thomas Jefferson, and Alexander Hamilton, provided the theoretical and intellectual foundations of the United States of America, Washington's intellect seemed backward and provincial. In his own terms, however, he was an intelligent man who could translate ideas into action. After losing his father, Washington came to rely even more heavily on his brother Lawrence, who had not only been elected to the House of Burgesses, but had married Anne Fairfax, whose family owned more than 5 million acres, managed by her father, Colonel William Fairfax, on behalf of his English cousin, the 6th Baron Fairfax. The young George Washington befriended Anne's brother, George William Fairfax, who was 8 years his senior, and also won the affection of her father, the Colonel. In 1746, the elder Fairfax and Lawrence planned to help George escape the clutches of his mother by joining the Royal Navy. Unwilling to lose a useful helping hand on the farm, Mary eventually vetoed the plan. Thwarted in his ambitions to go to sea, at the age of 15, George decided to become a surveyor, a lucrative profession, as settlers continued to expand westwards. This training allowed him to appreciate geographical features on maps and in the real world, a skill which he would use throughout his professional life. His first job in the spring of 1748 was to help the Fairfaxes divide up their vast domains into plots for further development. Within a couple of years, he would make his first investments in land, buying up over 2,000 acres by the time he turned 20. George would add to his land holdings in 1752, following the death of Lawrence from tuberculosis that July at the age of 34, leaving behind his wife and a baby daughter. Lawrence stipulated that in the event of their deaths, his estate of Mount